we start to ignore marital abuse, we begin to normalize it. If we begin to
Yes.
normalize it, then not only we're going to see, because usually you would assume that it happens behind closed doors, right? But if we make it normal because no one gets involved, then we're going to start seeing it where in the grocery stores, in the streets, and we've seen some people get attacked in public and no one helps.
Yeah.
Because to your point, no one wants to get involved because they're like, you know what? It doesn't impact me. And I'll give you an example that there's one day when I was taking public transit and an older woman who works in the same building as me, she fell. She slipped on some ice, she fell, and she hit her head, right? And she was laying there. So there's a group of us. We all work for the at the time. We all work for the same company. And imagine I was the only person that actually helped her get on the bus after she slipped. And we all work for the same company. There's about 10, 15 of us. And a couple of days later, she ended up going on disability because of her injury. She came back to work and she started telling some people the story because we didn't really know each other. It was just someone that I noticed because we work in the same place. And one person came up to me and he said that, I heard that you helped so and so. And I was like, yeah, you know what, she fell and I felt that it was the right thing to do.
Mm.
And he stated to me that it wasn't something that he would do because he wouldn't get involved. And I asked him, how can you look at someone and see that they're injured right in front of you and metaphorically, or in some cases, literally step over them to get into the bus? And I asked him, this was my second question to him, if it was your sister, if it was your mother, would you want someone to help? He said yes. I was like, but why would you want someone to help your family, but you're not willing to help someone else's family? And I think that's the problem. We don't want to get involved, but when it impacts us, we want everybody to get involved.
Exactly. Yeah. And as humans, we haven't we have a responsibility to help each other. We have a responsibility to advocate for each other. We have a responsibility to get involved. And it's really easy to say, well, I have my own problems, so let me leave you with yours. And good luck with yours. But that's unacceptable. I think that in this case, I mean, that's just outrageous. And I can't even imagine like why people wouldn't get involved. But I do know that they don't get involved. I have first aid training because I'm a manager of a rugby team for teenagers, and I I always think, oh, one day I'm going to end up needing to use my first aid. I will. I won't prefer to because I'm afraid that I'll fail them. But actually, you fail them by just walking past them or ignoring it or pretending it's not happening. That's when there's a problem. And I will say, with some situations, we do have um, a lot to for each of us to deal with. And so long as you can put your hand on your heart and say, I'm doing my best, you can't fight all of the causes all of the time, and you can't be all things to all people all the time. So there are times when I now have, just in the last probably 9 months or so, started saying there's boundaries here. And I need to, it's that I need to look after myself so that I have the strength to be able to help you. But it can't always be, because what ended up happening for me was I was everybody's advocate and I was doing everybody's, support system. And then I burnt myself out. And then
Do
I
you
had no
think
support.
that do you think that while you're advocating for everyone else, did you take a moment to advocate for yourself?
No, not only did I not advocate for myself, I lost track of who I was. I created all these personas, but I actually didn't know my own voice. And so my second husband had early onset of Alzheimer's in his 40s. And I became a carer for him, and he passed in 2019. And I it was the first time when I had everything leveled, where all of a sudden I didn't have all of the roles that I was playing. And I had to go and think about, what do I even like for dinner? What do I like to do in quiet times. You know, I was alone in the UK. My children had grown up. They were off in North America, and I had to think, I don't know what I do. And that's where, you know, Cabaret was just such a wonderful community and saving grace, because you know, it's just such a wonderful way to express ourselves, um, and just feel like we're accepted, for everybody, and that it's such an inclusive environment, in most cases. Um, but yeah, I lost full sight of myself because I was helping everybody else as everybody else's champion.
You mentioned persona when you were helping everyone.
Yeah.
What was the benefit to you to create these personas
Oh, it
around you?
helped me do that. That helped me get through all the stuff, right? I had my work persona. I had two businesses. I had that going on, and so I didn't bring my personal life into my work because I was an external consultant. So I'm not paid to go in there, and you know, I didn't have colleagues, as you know, as in the client's eyes, you know, or if I did, then we were all there to be professionals. And then I had my persona as a carer, or as a wife, or as a mother, or I created all these personas and I made it all look flawless.
Did they ever overlap, or did you ever find them exhausting? Because this sounds like you had two or three different versions of Heather that you're putting
Yeah.
out into the universe.
Oh, I had probably more than two or three. Yeah. And there was overlap. There was overlap in that I was always energetic and I was always happy and I was always. And actually, when my husband passed away, people said, "Oh, you have to be okay," which I thought was a really odd thing to say.
That is
But it's
odd.
almost like, if you're not strong, and you're the strongest person we know, if you're not strong, then the rest of us are in serious trouble. And I said, I don't want to be the strong person. I don't want to be the poster child for strength, because I didn't feel strong. I just felt like I was just doing my best. And that's what we're all trying to do.